I'd just like to say I'm flattered, honored even, to be asked to be on this episode of Renos Regions to talk about my shopping habits. I'd just like to thank you for asking me on to this fine program. But which websites, places where I shop at the most? It's got to be eBay and thrift books, mostly. Because books are the only thing I really buy or shop for anymore. So eBay, because I get insanely low prices sometimes, and it feels good to sort of buy from an actual person. You just find some great things on eBay when you're shopping for books, I feel like. And you also get to like see like a picture of the book usually. Whereas on something like thrift books, while I love thrift books, it's just like a generic picture. You don't see if it has any problems or anything. But thrift books, because they also have insanely low prices and really cheap shipping. They also have a rewards points program that allows you to get a free book after you get so many rewards points. And so I am a sucker for that. The most I've spent there, the most I recall spending was on thrift books. I spent like $21, I think. I'm very frugal when it comes to buying books. I think it was for the Diamond Sutra and the Sutra of Huineng as one book, and then also the Heart Sutra, translated by Red Pine. And so those are two books, the sort of three classic Zen Buddhist, or generally Mahayana Buddhist, which is the largest branch of Buddhism. Those are very essential texts for that realm of philosophy, which I find very fascinating. What has been lingering in my shopping cart? Every time I shop for books online, I always check and try to find, or I try to see what the prices are on some anthologies of classical Chinese poetry translations for the nature poems of people like Li Po or Wang Wei and Dao Yuanming. I just think they're fascinating people in terms of the ideas of Taoism and Buddhism that they brought out in their poetry, and as well their relationship to the natural world. But I never settle on one, because sometimes the translations can just vary in quality, and so I'm never really sure. So I never settle on one. It was something I'm excited to be delivered. I recently ordered Murray Bookchin's book, The Ecology of Freedom, that's coming in the mail soon. He was a left-wing thinker of the 20th century. I'd say he's a bit underrated. The subtitle of the book, The Emergence and Dissolution of Hierarchy, and it outlines his philosophy of social ecology, which basically states that our attitudes towards nature and our institutional domination of nature in our society comes from the domination of human by human. And so to sort of fix the relationship that we have with the natural world, we have to readjust our social thinking and social structures of our society. And now my cat May is coming to sit in my lap. And so I just think that's really interesting. Do I do my Christmas shopping early or last minute? I always do it right in between. I never do it early. I never do it last minute, but I order it right in the sweet spot of December, to where it's almost super late, because like the post office is getting really busy, like mid-December. What places do I think other people should know about? Bookshop.org, but through the Malvern Books website. Malvern Books is one of Austin's independent bookstores that's close to the UT campus. And if you go to their online bookshop page through their website, if you buy anything from there, Malvern gets a cut of that. And so I just think that's a wonderful little system. What is something I want for Christmas? I wish I was not allergic to this cat. I'll probably start sneezing very soon, because I am allergic to her. You have a great time shopping for your Christmas presents, Reno, and thank you for letting me on the air on your program again, and I hope you're doing very well.
This is Trinity Hawkins, aka DJ Hot Cinephile, and these are my shopping habits responses. The website and / places that I shop at the most, I do a lot of vintage shopping. I try to make sure that like my closet is 80% vintage, but sometimes you kind of want like fresh clothes. So, and this is probably the worst place that I shop. I do shop at Urban Outfitters for clothes the most, probably just because the quality of the clothes they have sometimes is good. So, but I do try to do most of my vintage shopping in person at thrift stores. And also my favorite place is Imparfait Paris, which is this like Parisian vintage store that's online. And they have like genuine vaulted vintage. Like they have like designer stuff too, which I think is really sick. And the most I spent there is probably like $300 one time, and that's crazy. Something that's been lingering in my shopping cart I am on the search for the perfect loafer, and I don't know if I'm gonna find it, but I think I have, but also something about them doesn't look quite right. And I really think it's gonna be one of those things where I have to find it in person. I've also been on the search for the perfect vintage fry not necessarily cowboy boots, but like vintage tan boots. I'm really into French film, and every French actress in all my favorite French movies has the perfect tan boot and the perfect red sweater. And I've solved the red sweater thing already, so I have that, but I've been on the search for the perfect boot to complete this. I don't know, I think I feel incomplete until that happens. Something that I'm excited to be delivered, or that's like recently been delivered. I'm excited for my Christmas presents for my loved ones to be delivered. And on that same note, I do my Christmas shopping early. Also, I celebrate Kwanzaa, so my Christmas shopping is sort of compounded with my Kwanzaa shopping. So, I try to get ahead of the game on that one. And a place that I frequent that I think other people should know about, I do a lot of like vintage shopping, like I said, but I think that a place people might not know of is probably Imparfait, just because it's one of the things where it's like you either are on the same exact corner of Instagram as me, or you end up seeing the same clothes like in a thrift store somewhere that you have to seek out. And I just think it's cool because all of the vintage, genuine vaulted stuff is like right there. Something that I want for Christmas. So materially, I really would like the Criterion collection. I would like a box set of my favorite Criterion film, which is Chungking Express. But I also recognize that it's like sold out everywhere, so I would like a physical copy, because the booklet comes with like notes from the director and posters, and it's just so cool. But non-materially, I think I would just like some peace, because from this crazy, sick little year. And some fond memories related to shopping that I have is when I was really little and lived in Chicago, I would go to the water tower every so often with my dad or with my aunt, and I would take my American Girl doll, and we would go into the American Girl doll store, and we would get matching outfits for me and my doll that looked exactly like me, and we would eat at the American Girl doll store. And honestly, that was peak happiness for me. So
I definitely am an online shopper. I have recently, just like you, Reno, I've gotten into Depop shopping, even though I said that I wouldn't, just because I feel like there's like such a stereotype associated with like shopping on Depop. But I think that like the concept of buying secondhand is really important, especially with like fast fashion and, like the impact that the textiles industry has on like the environment. And then like on top of that as well, like I like the fact that I can pretty much find like whatever I need. Well, really whatever I want. I don't need any of these things on Depop, because you can just search up like purple skirt and you'll find like 20 purple skirts, versus if I were to search it up on like Nordstrom or something, I don't know that I would find a purple skirt. The most that I've spent there money-wise, I try to like limit myself, and I like have a budget for myself for clothes every month. I won't let myself buy more than like 3 or 4 articles of clothing a month, and that's like kind of the max, unless if my mom's paying for it. What has been lingering in my shopping cart? Oh, this is terrible. There's like such a stereotype associated with Doc Martens, and I know that like I'm like just contribute. I don't know. I like really like them, and so I like want to get a pair of Doc Martens, and I probably will, even though there is such a stereotype, and there's multiple stereotypes associated with it. So it's like, what stereotype am I going to fall into? But they're awesome, and they look good with everything. What is something you're excited to be delivered, or something that's recently been delivered? Oh, I ordered this really awesome like long red skirt off of Depop that just came in like earlier this week, and I've gotten really into like long flowy skirts. I think that like I'm just channeling my inner piano teacher by doing that, but I just really like them. And also I like have been hunting for like Phoebe Bridgers has this denim overall dress that she wears in a lot of her like pictures and stuff, and I've been looking for that same dress, and I found one that's really similar to it, and so I ordered it, and I'm really excited for that to come in. Do I do my Christmas shopping early or last minute? Depends on who I'm shopping for, because I like with my family, I like know exactly what I'm going to get them, because like they're just like kind of like, I mean, obviously like I've known them my whole life, and so I kind of like know what they want for Christmas, I guess. With like friends, I try to like pick up Christmas presents like kind of early, because like I'll see something that'll like remind me of them, and I'll be like, oh, I have to get that for them. Like for example, like my friend Melissa, she's like just really obsessed with like sloths, and so I did this for her birthday too, but like anytime that I'm like out like at a shop and I see something that's like sloth related, I'm like, gosh, I like need to buy that for Melissa, because she's obsessed with sloths. And she has like a ridiculous amount of like sloth things. Like she has like 50,000 t-shirts and mugs and backpacks and like stuffed animals, and so just anytime I see something with a sloth on it, I get it for her. What places do I frequent that I think others should know about? Oh gosh, that's a really, really good question. I love book people. I think that like books are great gifts for people, but like you have to be really careful with books, because like you have to be sure that it's something that the person is like kind of mentioned wanting to read, or that it's like something that's like exactly up their alley, because like oftentimes like when people gift each other books, sometimes it feels like required reading, and I think that like no one likes that feeling, and that's why a lot of people just like put off reading books that other people give them. I know that like I've fallen into that trap sometimes. Like someone has given me a book and I've been like, well, like this is kind of up my alley, but not really, and then I don't really read it, and then it just ends up on my shelf. But Book People is awesome, and they have like great recommendations for books too, and so you know, sometimes you can blindly go off of that, you know. What is something that I want for Christmas? Does not have to be material. I love that you added does not have to be material. I think that this Christmas I'm just like searching for inner peace / like being content with everything. I think that it's been a really crazy year for sure, and I like am so fortunate to have really wonderful things happen to me this year. But I think the best thing that's happened to me this whole year is that I met my boyfriend, and he is incredible. And honestly, like, that's the best. Being with him is the best Christmas present that I've ever had. And I'm just excited to spend the holiday season with him. And I think that being with him has brought me a lot of that, like, inner contentment that, you know, like, just being okay with yourself that I've been searching for. And not that you need to be with someone to feel that way. I don't think that that's at all the case, and that's not what I'm trying to argue. But it definitely is beautiful, I think, to share this time of year with someone. And I think that's the best. You know, that's a really good question. When I was little, I would always go shopping with my mom. And I think that's, like, really where we became close. Like, when I was a baby. And even now, like, I still love going shopping with my mom. And I think that just, like, mother-daughter shopping, definitely the fondest memories that I have.
Hey there, this is Cole, also known as DJ R.D. Johnson. The websites that I shop the most at are probably bandcamp.com for sure. I guess I never actually used it until Bandcamp Friday, because it's just an insane marketing campaign on their part. But I mean, I just, you know, obviously value supporting independent artists and everything. So every Bandcamp Friday, I try to spend whatever my budget allows to buy different things. I just got like a early Christmas present, I guess, from my parents. They sent me a Bandcamp gift receipt this past Friday on Bandcamp Day, so I could get some stuff from there. The most I've ever spent at once on Bandcamp is probably around, I don't know, maybe like $100. But then, I guess as far as brick and mortar stores go, definitely just like the independent record stores kind of in my area from home. That'd be Moldy Toes Records, Porta Sound Records, Radiation Records, and then going up to LA, like Amoeba in Hollywood and Permanent Records in Highland Park. I think the most I've ever spent at a single record store at once was at Amoeba Hollywood, where I got like a handful of records plus this one wall record, When Your Heartstrings Break by Beulah, that I think they were selling for $100. And they're one of my favorite bands, and their records are so rare that I just had to get it. Recently, something that's been lingering in my shopping cart was the Ammunition cassette by Kyoto Connections, who I love, but I had put in my Bandcamp shopping cart in late October as a pre-order, and I meant to buy it with the Bandcamp Friday in November, but I just completely forgot, and that was one Bandcamp day that I did have to skip because I was running a little low on funds. But then I ordered it a few days ago on the December Bandcamp Friday, so that should be arriving soon, and I'm excited. But it's funny because I've been ordering cassettes all year, and I built up like a little bit of a collection, but I still don't have anything to play them on. I need to buy a Walkman or cassette player. It just seems like all the good ones are so much money, and I can't be spending that right now. But you know, the day will come when I get one. Something that I'm excited to be delivered is also, I just ordered a new hat. It was a car seat headrest merch hat. I have one that I got maybe 6 months ago or something, and it's the first hat that I actually wear. I never really thought of myself as a hat person, but I got a little inspired by Wes Sims, and I've started wearing hats more often, but that's kind of the only one I wear, the car seat headrest hat that I already have, and I love it. And so there was the second one, and I ordered it so I have a little bit more variety, can match with different outfits and everything. But I think that's actually, it already arrived at home, so as soon as I get back there, I'll have that one. I always do my Christmas shopping super last minute. It's usually pretty bad. There's been a few times where it's whatever I've ordered has arrived after the holiday, and I have to wrap it and give it to him late, but it works out in the end. Something that I frequent that I think others should know about is definitely End of All Music in Oxford, Mississippi. I've never been, but I've ordered records from there, and it's just a great record store. I follow them on Instagram and everything, and the guys that work there just have like insane taste, just care a lot about the format. Everything's always packaged great. It arrives fast. It's super easy to pay. They have a really good website. I'm counting down the days until I have an excuse to go to Mississippi just so I can visit that record store, which maybe one day I will drive to Mississippi just to go to the record store. But if anyone likes ordering records online from brick and mortar stores, definitely check out End of All Music. Something that I want for Christmas. I'm just excited to be home and be around my family. It's been a long time since I've seen them, and just hanging out, I guess, mostly. Except California is going on like a full lockdown, which is necessary, but I'll definitely spending a lot of time with my family in that case. And material-wise, just records and books. Not much more that I want in life, but I'm excited to dive deeper and have more time to read and listen to records. I don't even have a record player in Austin, so I just build up a collection here every semester and then be able to take it home at the end of the semester and finally listen to it all at once, which is a feeling I don't get too often. And finally, some fond memories I have related to shopping. Definitely, in high school, my mom and I, we would always see shows together, because no one I really knew back then had the same music tastes as me, and me and my parents basically have the same exact music taste. So my mom and I, every few weeks or so, we would see a show in LA or San Diego, but usually LA. But we would drive up there early in the day and just spend the whole day there, going record shopping and going to vintage stores and everything, and just hanging out. And those are some of my favorite memories from high school for sure.
I don't do too much shopping. I never do online shopping. And the kinds of things I shop for, if I do go shopping, are just thrift. I'll just be thrifting. And I like to go to different thrift stores every single time I go. So I don't really have a favorite in that regard. But my favorite store ever is definitely Half Price Books. I love that store. You never know what you're gonna find when you go, and they have tons of records, tons of books, nice music usually, I guess, but I mean the prices. Those are some good prices they got there. I never spend more than $20 when I go, just because of how cheap that store is. Something lingering in my shopping cart for a while now have been poster frames, and because I just have 6 or 7 posters that I've gotten from concerts over the years of the same size, and I would like to preserve them because they are getting beat up with every single time I move. So I want to keep them safe in a frame and make them look nice. So I haven't gotten much delivered recently in terms of shopping, but I did get a letter from my pen pal in Greece a couple weeks ago, and she wrote a great letter, and I can't wait to respond to her. I do all of my Christmas shopping last minute, the couple days before or a day before Christmas. I will go to Half Price Books and pretty much do all of my shopping. I'll get a record for my dad, a book for my mom, a toy for my brother, and probably another book for my grandma. And with that trip, I can knock out the majority of my Christmas shopping. A store that I think other people should know about is Breakaway Records, which is in North Loop. It's a record store, and it's small. They have a good selection, though, and they have a huge budget bin. I mean, half the store is just dollar records, basically, and they have amazing prices, like so many discounts, and just really reasonable for a record store, and a lot of great used stuff. So I love that place. One of my fondest memories of shopping is definitely my first date. I was 14. It was my first real date, and after we got brunch, we just went through a bunch of different shops on Montrose, on the strip of Westheimer in Montrose in Houston. And we just went into all the different vintage shops that they have there, and this antiques place, BJ's Antiques, great antique shop in Houston. That was a lot of fun. And of course, we finished off the date at Half Price Books, so full circle.
Hey Reno, just wanted to say thanks for asking me to be part of this wonderful thing that we call Renos Regions. When it comes to places that I shop the most, I really enjoy browsing through the shelves at Goodwill. I don't really buy much when I go there, but sometimes I could spend hours just looking at different sort of knickknacks that have passed by through the shop. And sometimes I like to wonder about like how they got there, or what the people who previously owned these items were like. And just kind of letting my imagination run as I look at random things like picture frames or old books or clothes as I'm walking through Goodwill. Just, I don't know, it's very relaxing to me. I also really enjoy browsing through Facebook Marketplace, if you want to get into the online shopping of it all, for similar reasons, because you get to attach a face to an item, and you know, you can wonder what type of person that was and how they came to own whatever thing it is that they're selling, and sometimes wonder, hey, why are they getting rid of this? Let's see, what has been lingering in your shopping cart? I recently made the decision to start collecting a Criterion Collection Blu-rays, and every year there's like a couple of sales that happen throughout the year where they're 50% off, and I added a Blu-ray of the movie True Stories, which was a film directed by Talking Heads frontman David Byrne, and I've always admired their music, and when I heard about this movie I was like, well, I've got to check it out, but I missed it on the sale, so it's just kind of been in my shopping cart for an indefinite time until the 50% off discount hits again, I guess. I'm usually last minute when it comes to Christmas shopping. I'm not particularly a great gift giver. I think one time for a Secret Santa, I found like a VHS copy of a Thomas the Tank Engine's Christmas special, and I wrapped it up in gift paper and gifted it and wrote like a funny little note, or at least I thought it was funny, and gave it to the person. But looking back, yeah, I'm not I'm not the greatest at giving gifts. I'll usually buy a book or something for my parents. Well, I guess this isn't a specific memory, but just generally, it's really fun to walk into a half-price books and maybe discover something that you didn't expect to find. Big fan of physical media, and sometimes, you know, you walk in and you find a movie that you've always been looking for and just haven't been able to find it on any streaming service anywhere. The idea of, oh, that's cool, I found this one unique item that I didn't think that I'd stumble across.